If you looked down at this land from above, it's one of the rare places where the human presence seems almost completely swallowed by the vastness of nature. Endless steppes stretch to the horizon, where horses and livestock outnumber people tenfold, making this the most sparsely populated nation on Earth. Yet nearly a quarter of its people still live as nomads, moving with the seasons in round felt tents, just as their ancestors did for millennia. Before becoming the isolated land it is today, this region was once the heart of one of history's greatest conquering empires, stretching from Asia all the way into Europe under the rule of Genghis Khan. Beneath the vast dunes of the Gobi Desert lies an ancient secret, once home to tyrannosaurs and still holding some of the world's most valuable fossil egg nests. The harshness of the climate, with its long, freezing winters, has never extinguished the resilient survival instinct of the people living under an endless blue sky. The Orkhon Valley is a geographical area extending along the Orkhon River in central Mongolia, within Overkhangai province. This valley is considered by many to be the cradle of Mongolian civilization, having witnessed the rise and fall of several great empires. The terrain consists mainly of steppe grasslands, low hills, and several extinct volcanoes scattered throughout the region. It experiences a dramatically continental climate, with summer highs reaching 30 degrees Celsius and winter lows plunging to minus 40 degrees Celsius. The vegetation is primarily steppe grasses, which thrive in summer from June to August. These grasses provide essential pasture for the nomadic herders who have called this valley home for thousands of years. In autumn, the grass turns yellowish-brown as temperatures drop and rainfall decreases. The Orkhon River is one of Mongolia's longest rivers, flowing through this area before joining the Terelj River. Along its banks lie the ruins of Karakorum, the 13th century capital of the Mongol Empire, founded by Genghis Khan. Orkhon Waterfall, located in the southern part of the valley, originated from ancient volcanic activity and is one of the largest waterfalls in the country. Standing 20 meters high, it cascades over a basalt cliff, creating a misty gorge that remains frozen solid throughout the winter months. The cliffs around the waterfall are composed of basalt formed from lava flows that cooled over thousands of years. The waterfalls and the surrounding volcanic landscape create a striking contrast with the endless grasslands that dominate the rest of the valley. Surrounding the waterfall area are several inactive volcanic craters, now used as grazing pastures. Now, before we move on to the next destination, here's a fun question for you. At the Nadam Festival, which event would you not see? Comment your answer below. Few people know that the Gobi Desert is not a scorching hot, sandy desert like the Sahara, but rather a cold desert with winter temperatures dropping to minus 40 degrees Celsius. This desert spans approximately 1,300,000 kilometers across southern Mongolia and northern China. The name Gobi itself means waterless place in Mongolian, yet surprisingly, there are underground rivers flowing beneath the desert floor. What makes it truly unique is that it's not all sand. Vast stretches of rocky plains, gravel fields, and even grassy steppes exist within its borders. The famous singing dunes of Khongoryn Els, which can reach heights of 300 meters, produce a low humming sound when the wind blows across their ridges. Despite its harsh conditions, the Gobi is home to remarkable wildlife. The elusive snow leopard, the wild Bactrian camel, and the endangered Gobi bear, with only around 40 individuals remaining in the wild. This is also where the first ever dinosaur eggs were discovered in 1923, rewriting our understanding of prehistoric life. Humans have lived in the Gobi for at least 5,000 years, maintaining a nomadic lifestyle with herds of livestock and Bactrian camels. Nomadic herders move their camps up to 30 times a year in search of fresh pasture. Each move is carefully calculated, following ancient migration routes that have been used for millennia. They are deeply connected to the fragile ecosystem and possess rich knowledge of their environment. This includes understanding which plants are medicinal and which are poisonous to their animals. Nomadic culture is expressed through rituals, music, and culinary arts, such as steamed booze dumplings. During the Naadam festival, you can witness horseback riding competitions and traditional wrestling that have remained unchanged for centuries. The Thousand Camel Festival is held annually to honor this important animal. The world is full of amazing places waiting to be discovered. Subscribe and let's explore them together. On the vast steppes of north-central Mongolia, a single city stands solitary amid the boundless landscape. Ulaanbaatar is not just the capital, but the soul of a nomadic people who once ruled half the world. Today, it is home to nearly half of Mongolia's entire population, with over 1.5 million people living within its growing urban sprawl. Yet despite its modern skyline of glass towers and hotels, the city sits at an elevation of 1,300 meters, making it one of the coldest capitals on Earth, with winter temperatures plunging to -40 degrees Celsius. The city was founded in 1639 and changed location 28 times before settling in 1778. Its original name was Urga, meaning palace, and it served as the mobile headquarters for Mongolian Buddhist leaders. For its first 150 years, the entire city consisted of felt tents and monasteries that migrated seasonally across the steppe. This nomadic lifestyle meant the city was essentially a moving capital, packed up and transported on ox carts whenever new pastures were needed. Gandantegchinlen Monastery was built in the 19th century, serving as a center of Buddhist education and culture. Inside its walls stands a 26-meter-tall statue of Megjid Janraisag, covered in gold leaf and housing thousands of smaller Buddha statues. It was within these monasteries that classical Mongolian script and Tibetan Buddhist art were taught. The monastery survived the purges of the 1930s, when hundreds of temples were destroyed across the country. Ulaanbaatar residents still maintain many nomadic customs, such as setting up ger tents in their yards. If you enjoyed this journey, you can support the channel with a small coffee joom. Your support helps me keep creating more travel videos like this. Thank you so much. The ancient stones still whisper tales of an empire that once ruled half the world. Kharkhorin today is not just a town, but a living page of Mongolia's great history. The ancient city of Karakorum was chosen as the capital by Genghis Khan in 1220, from where he launched campaigns to conquer China. His successor, Ögedei Khan, continued construction, transforming it into a bustling Eurasian trade hub with merchants from afar. Nations such as Persia, India, France, and Hungary all had people living here, creating remarkable cultural diversity. The city embraced every religion, with monasteries, churches, and mosques built side by side. The Mongols maintained their ger tradition, still set up alongside permanent structures. The Nadam festival, with its 3 traditional games, continues to be held in this land. In 1388, the city was destroyed by the Manchus, leaving only grass-covered ruins. On that sacred ground, Erdeni Zu Monastery was built in 1585 using stones from the Karakorum ruins. The monastery's surrounding wall stretches nearly 400 meters with 108 stupas, a sacred number in Buddhism. At its peak, the monastery had 62 temples and about 1,000 monks studying Buddhist teachings. In 1939, under communist rule, the monastery was partially destroyed, with only 3 small temples surviving. From 1947 to 1990, it was converted into a museum and ceased to function as a place of worship. After the fall of communism, Erdene Zoo was returned to the monks and religious activities resumed. The monastery now serves both as a place of worship and a museum, preserving Buddhist artworks. I'm curious, what time is it where you're watching from? And which country are you joining me from today? The eastern Mongolian steppes are home to the largest remaining intact temperate grasslands of the Earth. It covers about 1 million square kilometers, stretching from the Khingan Range to the Altai Mountains. This vast area is so expansive that it could fit the entire country of France within its borders more than twice over. Grasslands occupy most of the area, with few trees growing there. The landscape consists mainly of vast grasslands and temperate steppe, largely without tree cover. The absence of trees allows for unobstructed views that stretch endlessly to the horizon, where the sky and earth seem to merge as one. Gentle hills roll like green waves across the boundless ocean of grass. The soil here is often dry and sandy, with seasonal salt marshes appearing in some areas. Herds of livestock are scattered across the grassland like moving clouds on the earth. A single herder on horseback can watch over 1,000 animals, his keen eyes spotting any stray from miles away. When spring arrives, wildflowers bloom in colorful patches among the traditional ger tents. Nomadic herders move seasonally with their livestock in search of fresh green pastures. They set up their round ger tents, symbols of the sky and universe, amid the vast landscape. The heart of Mongolian culture beats loudest during Nadam, when the steppe comes alive with horse racing, wrestling, and archery competitions. Herds of two-humped camels walk across the golden steppe, casting long shadows in the sunset light. Situated on a hill overlooking the Terelj River, the Genghis Khan statue complex is a prominent landmark in Mongolia. The complex was built in 2008 using 250 tons of stainless steel and stands 40 meters tall. It is currently the largest equestrian statue in the world. This location is tied to the legend of Genghis Khan finding a golden whip on the Terelj River bank. The statue faces east toward his birthplace, according to legend. The statue's base features 36 columns, symbolizing the 36 Khans from Chinggis to Ligdan. The complex entrance includes statues of 9 generals who served under Genghis Khan. The interior of the base building features European Gothic-style design. The ground floor of the complex houses a museum displaying Bronze Age artifacts. Visitors can admire a replica of the legendary Golden Whip and 12th–13th century artifacts. An elevator takes visitors to the top of the Horse's Head for panoramic views of the steppe. The surrounding area has been developed into a cultural park, with traditional ger tents for visitors to explore. Local staff often wear traditional deal clothing to recreate nomadic life for visitors. The cuisine at the complex consists mainly of nomadic dishes such as roasted mutton and fermented horse milk called arag. Many Mongolian families visit the statue as an educational ritual to teach their children about national history. For Mongolians, Genghis Khan is not just a conqueror, but a symbol of identity and national pride. Scattered like shattered mirrors across the Mongolian landscape, over 2,200 lakes glisten under the vast sky, but none compare to Lake Khövsgöl. A pristine jewel cradled in the mountains of northern Mongolia, just shy of the Russian border. This freshwater lake is 136 kilometers long, up to 262 meters deep, and is estimated to be over 2 million years old. It is often referred to as the younger sister of Lake Baikal and belongs to the group of the world's oldest lakes. The water is so clear that one can see down to a depth of 16 to 18 meters below the surface. The entire area surrounding the lake has been protected as a national park since 1992. The communities around the lake still maintain a traditional nomadic way of life. The Tsagaan, an ethnic minority group, herd reindeer in the northern taiga forests. Tsagaan culture is closely tied to shamanism and the worship of the blue sky. Shamanic rituals are often held on the lakeshore to pray for rain. Visitors often come here for hiking, fishing, and boating on the lake. Ger camps provide accommodation and cultural experiences. In March, the Ice Festival takes place on the frozen lake, featuring horse-drawn sled races. Dalai Island in the southeastern part of the lake is considered a sacred site. The island contains ancient petroglyphs and is used for shamanic rituals. The Bayanzag Cliffs lie in the vast Gobi Desert, distinguished by the orange-red color of iron-rich sandstone oxidized over time. These strange and arid rock formations create a Martian-like landscape, especially late in the day. As the sun sinks lower, the entire area glows with brilliant reds, oranges, and golds. The scene becomes particularly striking at sunset, perfectly matching the name Flaming Cliffs, coined by scientist Andrews. The sedimentary layers are stacked upon one another, each with a different color, creating diversity. Layers of red, orange, brown, and yellow clay alternate with layers of pebbles. The surrounding desert is immense, with low sand dunes and sparse vegetation. Wind blows continuously through the canyons, producing a whistling sound through the rock crevices. The mudstone and sandstone layers are 75 million years old and contain abundant fossils. Fragments of dinosaur bones and eggs can still be found on the ground after sandstorms. Small canyons and fissures cut across the cliffs, forming a natural maze. In the rock hollows, visitors may see rainwater pools left from a few days earlier. The area has no trees or water sources. Only rock and sand cover the ground. The cliff colors change depending on the angle of light throughout the day. Weather-worn rocks have eroded into strange shapes resembling mushrooms and towers. Right in the middle of Ulaanbaatar, the golden-roofed Gandantegchinlen Monastery catches the eye, standing apart from the surrounding city bustle. The temple walls are painted white and red in Tibetan Buddhist style. The curved, tiled roofs soar skyward, with intricate carvings on every corner. The large entrance gate features a dharma wheel flanked by 2 bronze deer on each side. The main courtyard is spacious, paved with flat stones, and often sees monks in red robes walking about. The Megjid Janraiseg Temple is the tallest structure, housing a shimmering golden statue of Avalokiteshvara. The statue stands 26.5 meters tall, occupying nearly the full interior height of the temple. The inner walls are all decorated with Thangka paintings and Buddhist motifs. On the pillars and beams, dragon and lotus patterns are painted in vivid colors. Outside, prayer wheels are arranged around the monastery grounds. On major festival days, the entire monastery grounds are decorated with flags and lanterns. During important holidays, the monastery holds the traditional Tsam dance with colorful masks. This dance symbolizes the victory of good over evil in Buddhism. Musicians with traditional instruments perform on special occasions. The sounds of flutes, drums, and long trumpets resonate during prayer ceremonies. Would you join the sacred Psalm dance if you had the chance? Comment 1 for absolutely, or 2 for I'd rather watch. The undulating granite mountains and lush green valleys are the first highlights when setting foot in Gorkhi Terelj. Located just 70 kilometers northeast of Ulaanbaatar, the park is the most accessible wilderness escape for city dwellers seeking a breath of fresh air. Covering nearly 3,000 kilometers, the park has a diverse ecosystem comprising steppe, pine forests, and granite peaks up to 2,664 meters high. The terrain here changes from expansive steppe to high mountain valleys, quite different from other arid steppe regions. Turtle Rock is the park's symbol, naturally formed over millennia and considered a symbol of longevity and wisdom. According to local legend, this rock formation was once a giant turtle turned to stone by the gods for disobeying their commands. Visitors can climb to the top of this rock for panoramic views of the steppe, but the path is quite steep and requires good physical condition. From its peak, you can spot grazing herds and traditional jur camps dotting the valley floor below. The park is home to rare species such as the Pallas's cat, wolves, and the endangered Saker falcon. Birdwatchers flock here during spring and autumn to catch a glimpse of these magnificent raptors soaring above the granite cliffs. However, tourism development has led to increased construction and overgrazing issues. This delicate balance between conservation and tourism remains one of the park's biggest challenges today. We gather info from many sources. If something seems off or you've got more to add, drop a comment. Khongoryn Els stretches like a vast ocean of sand in the heart of the desolate Gobi Desert. The sand dunes here reach heights of up to 300 meters, forming massive sand walls. The dunes extend continuously for about 100 kilometers in length and 12 kilometers in width. The sand's color shifts from pale yellow to orange-red as the sun moves across the sky. At sunset, the entire area blazes with brilliant red hues like burning fire. The dune contours become sharper under the slanted sunlight. Wind passing through the sand grains produces a humming sound reminiscent of an airplane. This sound is why the place is called the Singing Dunes, or Duat Mang Khan. The fine sand grains constantly shift, altering the dunes' shapes every day. The dunes are crescent-shaped, resembling frozen waves on an ocean. Sunlight reflecting off the white sand can strain the eyes without protective glasses. Strong winds often arise in the afternoon, blowing sand into thin, smoky plumes. The entire area is desolate, with no trees or human structures obstructing the view. Tucked away in the remote Ivan Valley, Amarbayasgalant Monastery feels like a secret waiting to be discovered. The journey itself is an adventure, a winding 360-kilometer drive north from Ulaanbaatar through rolling steppe and forested mountains. Its name means Monastery of Tranquil Bliss, built between 1727 and 1736 as a tribute to Ulaanbaatar, Mongolia's first Buddhist leader. The site was specifically chosen for its peaceful setting, surrounded by mountains on 3 sides to protect it from harsh northern winds. Originally home to over 40 temples, only 28 structures remain today, surviving the destruction of the 1930s religious purges. The complex blends Chinese, Mongolian, and Tibetan architectural styles in quiet harmony along a north-south axis. In 1996, the monastery was added to UNESCO's World Heritage Tentative List, recognizing its outstanding cultural and historical value. Inside the main Dzogchen temple, towering red-painted pillars are carved with guardian deities, while gilt bronze Buddha statues, up to 5 meters tall, sit on intricately carved pedestals. The walls are covered with thangkas and frescoes, depicting bodhisattvas and scenes from the Buddha's life. On any given day, young monks in saffron robes sweep the courtyards, their movements a quiet meditation in itself. Some sit cross-legged in corners, chanting sutras in melodic voices that echo off the ancient walls. Amid the arid and vast Gobi Desert, a porcelain-white cliff suddenly rises from the flat steppe. Tsagaan Suvarga, or White Stupa, stretches approximately 400 meters and rises up to 60 meters high, forming a massive wall. The name was given by Buddhist monks who saw a resemblance between the cliff's shape and the sacred stupas found in their monasteries. From a distance, the site resembles the ruins of an ancient city or old towers. The cliff's colors shift from white, orange to red, forming sedimentary layers like giant wood grains. At sunrise and sunset, the cliff transforms into a breathtaking canvas of warm hues, with shadows deepening the crevices and carving out dramatic silhouettes. This color diversity is due to the oxidation of iron and calcium in the rock over millions of years. Geologists estimate that the formation dates back over 200 million years, making it a living textbook of Earth's history. This land was once submerged under an ancient sea, and the sedimentary layers are clear evidence of that. For paleontologists, Tsagaan Suvarga is a treasure trove, offering glimpses into a world long before humans ever walked the earth. Occasionally, visitors may find small fossil fragments or fossilized shells within the rock. However, removing them is strictly prohibited to preserve the site's scientific value for future generations. Besides the main cliff, nearby caves such as Kevti Bosu Agui are also worth exploring. Local people once considered this place sacred, even refraining from speaking its real name. One legend tells of two dragons, one white and one red, creating the two differently colored cliffs. Deep in the heart of the Gobi Desert, where most imagine nothing but endless sand and scorching heat, lies a frozen secret, Yol Valley. This narrow gorge, carved into the Khorgo mountain range, defies everything you thought you knew about Mongolia's southern wilderness. The name Yol comes from the lammergeier, or bearded vulture, a majestic bird of prey that once soared abundantly through these cliffs. Towering rock faces rise hundreds of meters on both sides, creating a passage so narrow that sunlight barely touches the valley floor. Walking into the valley feels like stepping into another world. The air turns cool, the sounds of the steppe fade away, and you're left with nothing but the crunch of ice beneath your feet. The deeper you go, the rougher the trail becomes, winding past sheer walls that have stood for millions of years. Keep your eyes sharp, because this canyon is alive with wildlife. Agile Siberian ibex leap across steep rocks, while Argali sheep with massive curved horns graze on sparse vegetation high above. At the valley entrance, a small museum displays fossils and specimens that tell the story of this ancient land. Central Mongolia has many rivers originating from the Altai Mountains, among which the Ongiin Gol is one of the important rivers of the region. The river flows through the borders of Overkhangai and Dungovi provinces with a total length of about 437 kilometers before draining into the Gobi Desert. Since the early 21st century, both lakes have completely dried up due to excessive water use and climate change. The river's flow has also been seasonally interrupted, especially during prolonged drought years. Ongiin Monastery, one of Mongolia's largest Buddhist monasteries before the 20th century, once stood on the banks of this river. The monastery was built in the 17th century and once housed over 1,000 monks living and studying there. The complex was almost completely destroyed during the religious purges under the communist regime in the 1930s. Today, the monastery ruins consist only of scattered stone walls and foundations on both sides of the river. A small portion of the monastery has been restored since the 1990s after Mongolia's transition to democracy. The area around the river is semi-desert, alternating between dry grasslands and small sand dunes. You might not know that the 20-meter-high Taikhar Rock was once a site where Turkic tribes left runic inscriptions in the 6th–7th centuries. The rock lies about 22 kilometers northeast of Terelj in Arkhangai Province, Mongolia. Its surface is covered by over 150 inscriptions in various languages and scripts. These inscriptions prove that Taikhar has been a sacred site for over 1,500 years. Surrounding the rock is vast steppe, stretching to the horizon with gentle rolling hills. The steppe grass changes color from lush green in summer to golden brown in autumn. Locals believe that anyone who throws a stone onto Taikhar's summit will have luck and wealth. On the top stands a stone cairn, reflecting its religious significance. Many modern inscriptions, including Soviet-era writings from the 1980s, appear alongside ancient texts. The government has protected this site since 1994 to preserve its historical value. Visitors often walk around the rock, exploring the inscriptions and enjoying the vast open space. Where the grasslands stretch endlessly toward the Altai Mountains lie the forgotten stones of Baybalik, once the beating heart of the Uyghur Empire. The Mongols today call it Kharbalgus, the Black City, a name that captures both its weathered walls and its mysterious past. Built upon the ruins of an even older Göktürk capital, this city rose to power in 761 AD, only to be razed by the Kyrgyz less than a century later. What remains today are silent witnesses to that rise and fall. The city was more than just a fortress. It was a thriving center of trade, religion, and politics that echoed with the chants of monks and the shouts of merchants. Excavations in recent years have unearthed treasures that speak of its glory. Today, the ruins lie within the Orkhon Valley cultural landscape, a UNESCO World Heritage Site, yet they remain surprisingly quiet. Rising like a spine of ancient bone along Mongolia's western border, the Altai Mountains form one of the most remote and untouched wildernesses left on Earth. These peaks stretch for over 500 kilometers across Mongolian territory, their snow-capped summits piercing the sky like white spears. Some mountains here reach heights above 4,000 meters, with the highest peak, Khövsgöl, standing proudly at 4,374 meters, where Mongolia meets China and Russia. This is a world of extremes, where summer meadows burst into vibrant green life, while winter blankets everything in deep, bone-chilling silence. The mountains are home to the elusive snow leopard, a ghost of the high cliffs that few travelers ever glimpse with their own eyes. Argali sheep, with their massive curving horns, navigate steep rocky slopes with the grace of creatures born to these heights. For thousands of years, these mountains have witnessed the footsteps of nomads, hunters, and traders crossing passes that connect Central Asia to the Siberian frontier. Petroglyphs carved into the dark rock faces tell stories of ancient people who lived here long before written history began. The glaciers that cling to these mountains are slowly retreating, melting into rivers that sustain life across the Gobi Desert far below. The air here is thin and sharp, so crisp that every breath feels like drinking ice-cold water from a mountain spring. In the shadow of these giants, time moves differently. Not measured in hours, but in the slow melting of snow and the migration of wild herds. Not every lake in Mongolia originates from melted ice or rainfall. Some, like Terkhiin, were formed by volcanic activity. Terkhiin Tsagaan, also known as White Lake, is located in Terelj district, Arkhangai province, at an elevation of about 2,060 meters above sea level. The lake is freshwater, formed when lava flows from the Khorgo Volcano blocked the Terkh River in the past. About 10 small rivers flow into the lake, while only the Suman River serves as its single outlet. Khorgo Volcano, which has been extinct for about 8,000 years, lies east of the lake, with a crater about 200 meters in diameter and 70 to 80 meters deep. The area is protected within Khorgo Terkhiin Tsagaan Nuur National Park, established in 1965. The lake was listed as a Ramsar wetland site in 1998 due to its ecological value for migratory birds. Wildlife around the lake includes swans, mallards, gulls, and several other rare bird species that visit seasonally. The lake contains over 10 fish species, including the taimen trout, a large freshwater fish typical of Central Asia. The terrain around the lake consists of grassy hills interspersed with coniferous forests growing on black basalt soil from ancient lava. Many nomadic families live around the lake, grazing livestock such as yaks, sheep, and goats on the surrounding slopes. From the base camp, Malchin Peak appears as a stone tower standing tall against the deep blue sky, reaching an elevation of 4,050 meters above sea level. The peak lies in the Altai Mountains, forming the natural border between Mongolia and Russia. The name Malchin comes from the Mongolian language, meaning herdsman. The geology of the area consists of granite, schist, and other ancient metamorphic rocks. The Potenin Glacier, about 14 kilometers long, flows along the southern slope of the peak. The thick ice layers here are thousands of years old and are shrinking due to climate change. The area surrounding the peak belongs to the Altai Mountain Steppe ecoregion. The vegetation includes low shrubs, mosses, and lichens adapted to high altitudes. At lower elevations, pine and birch forests cover the mountain slopes. Average summer temperatures in the area range from about 10 to 15 degrees Celsius during the day. In winter, temperatures can drop below -30 degrees Celsius with heavy snowfall. Summer lasts from June to September, the only time the peak is accessible. Precipitation here is low, but snow can fall at any time of the year. According to shamanistic beliefs passed down among the steppe communities of northern Mongolia, the images of flying deer on deer stones are seen as spirit guides leading the souls of the deceased to the sky. These are standing stones, up to 4 meters high, carved with stylized deer figures on their surfaces. The UNESCO-recognized site lies on the eastern and northern slopes of the Altai Mountains. The terrain in the area consists mainly of low hill steppe, interspersed with river valleys and some sparse forest areas at medium elevations. Deer stone clusters are usually arranged in straight lines or groups, placed directly on open ground without surrounding shelter structures. Around each deer stone cluster, there are often hirigsurs, large circular or rectangular stone burial mounds rising from the flat ground. The ground surface around the site is mostly covered with low grass and few tall trees, offering wide visibility in all directions. In summer, the grass in the area grows lush green. No modern buildings are found near the stone clusters, except for a few tracks left by off-road vehicles. Most deer stones are oriented facing east, the direction of the sunrise in ancient belief. The carving material is mainly granite or greenstone, gray or dark brown, depending on the stone source in each area. The heights of deer stones range from about 0.9 to 4.5 meters, with surfaces noticeably weathered after thousands of years exposed outdoors. This is where Mongolia, Russia, and China meet, a remote corner of Asia where the earth reaches for the sky. At the heart of this wilderness lies the Tavan Bogd Massif, the crown jewel of Altai Tavan Bogd National Park in Bayan Ulgi Province. Mount Khuyten, the highest of 5 snow-capped peaks, rises to 4,374 meters, while 34 glaciers carve their way through the rocky terrain. From these icy heights, meltwater cascades down to form pristine lakes, their blue waters mirroring the surrounding peaks. In summer, lush grasslands spread around the lakes, creating a vivid contrast with the white mountain tops. Higher up, clusters of pine and larch cling to the slopes, their needles turning golden orange in autumn. In winter, the entire region disappears beneath deep snow, transforming the massif and lakes into a vast, silent white landscape. This is a place where fire and ice meet, and where nature still rules with an ancient, untamed beauty. Nature rarely draws hard lines, yet at Elsen Tasarkhai, 2 opposing landscapes share the same horizon in an impossible, breathtaking embrace. Its name means broken sand, and the dunes here stretch about 80 kilometers long and 5 kilometers wide. For the local nomadic herders, this place holds a special significance. It is not just a landscape, but a vital source of water and pasture for their livestock. The sand is soft and fine, constantly reshaped by the wind that sweeps across the open plains. Despite its desert-like appearance, the area receives enough moisture to support a surprising variety of plant life, including wild onions and hardy grasses. At sunrise, the dunes glow in warm shades of amber and rose, their soft curves contrasted by the green grass at their edges. Small streams wind through the area, feeding the land and sustaining nomadic herders who move their livestock here during the warmer months. These streams, though modest, never completely dry up even during the hottest summers, creating small pockets of life in the middle of the sand. Horses graze quietly at the base of the dunes, their silhouettes sharp against the pale sand. Bactrian camels move slowly across the terrain, their heavy footsteps sinking slightly into the soft ground. From the highest dunes, the Altai Mountains appear on the horizon, their snow-capped peaks seeming to float above the steppe. Unlike the towering dunes of Khongoryn Els, this place feels more grounded, more peaceful. Many travelers describe the experience of standing here as almost meditative, the silence broken only by the whisper of wind and the distant call of birds. It is a land where sand and grass exist not in conflict, but in quiet acceptance of each other. And for those who wander here, Elsen Tasarkhai offers a rare glimpse into the beautiful strangeness of Mongolia's ever-changing landscape. What happens when fire meets ice in the heart of Mongolia? The answer lies in Khorgo Volcano, a sleeping giant that once roared to life thousands of years ago. Located in the Altai Mountains, this extinct volcano rises about 200 meters above the surrounding steppe, its crater now a silent bowl of green. The climb to the top is not difficult, yet each step feels like a journey through time, with volcanic rocks crunching beneath your feet. The last eruption occurred roughly 8,000 years ago, leaving behind a landscape scarred and shaped by molten rock. Today, you can climb to the rim of the crater and peer down into its depths, where wildflowers now bloom where lava once flowed. Locals believe the crater holds a spiritual energy, and some still leave small offerings at its edge as a sign of respect. From the top, the view stretches across a sea of volcanic rocks, black, jagged, and strangely beautiful against the green grasslands below. Surrounding the volcano are dozens of smaller cones and craters, evidence of a violent past that shaped this entire region. The volcanic soil is rich and fertile, supporting a unique ecosystem of hardy plants that thrive in this harsh environment. Small lakes have formed in the craters of nearby extinct volcanoes, their waters reflecting the endless blue sky above. The area is home to nomadic herders who bring their livestock here during the summer months, taking advantage of the lush pastures. As the wind sweeps across the crater, it carries with it the faint scent of wild thyme and sage that grow abundantly on the volcano's slopes. After journeying through this vast and ancient land, one thing becomes clear. Mongolia is not a place you simply observe, but a place you feel. The silence of the steppe, the weight of the sky, and the warmth of a nomadic welcome leave a mark deeper than any monument ever could. Here, survival is not a struggle, but a rhythm, a dance with nature that has been perfected over centuries. And in that quiet moment between day and night, you understand why this land has never needed to be anything other than what it is.